Load us up to look at.
I think even longer than that.
You don't need them.
Very cool. I get to sit back.
What does low gas mean? I did see it on Mike, you've been
That's all right, yeah. But I like the way they meet Chuck to that rear glance.
way beyond me. But, you know, they're really unaffordable one day. The primary. Are you still considering a Tesla?
Load us up to look at.
Alan! Alan!
Let's go.
He's actually my boss. I'm just
Where'd you put the engine?
automatically contact.
There's no engine.
There's no engine.
How does it go?
It's magic.
It's magic.
So thanks for driving it.
That's the front. Oh, yeah.
So what do you think about taking your first ride in a Model S Tesla? Exciting.
Exciting, yeah. Could be a whole change of driving experiences from now on,
Yeah.
rather than the blast of a turbo engine or a V8 engine. It would be the whoosh of
Simon, Jody, Thomas, Graham.
an electric engine.
Yeah.
Thrust. Interesting, huh?
Someone's parked some bloody sports car in my way.
That'd be your sports car.
Yeah, it would be. Alright.
Okay, finally I'm in.
So the principle of the electric motor in that is that is it the electricity that fires up the motor, or what's the principle?
It runs purely on electricity. There's no
No engine in between.
there's no engine. There's no
Straight
way.
to the drive.
Yep, there's no petrol, there's no engine, it's just all electric motor the whole way.
There's quite a lot of headroom in here, isn't there?
Okay, so we've got two people apparently not wearing seatbelts.
Oh, yeah.
So this is this week, arrived this week, Steve? Is it?
I picked it up last Friday,
Right.
so I've had it for just over a week now.
Here comes another electric car.
Yep. I'll just slow down. No cars coming.
Do you miss the noise of a motor?
Not at all. Not when I can do this.
Oh, when you get that acceleration.
Wow,
Someone's got their window open.
Hang on.
it's impressive.
Can crank up the aircon if you want.
Oh, that'd be good.
You've got vents back there as well, down.
Yeah.
So we can't go very terribly far in 10 minutes, but we'll get on the motorway, go to the next exit, and come back.
So, Steve, are you interested in establishing a charging infrastructure?
Absolutely, yes. Yeah. It's critical to
The whole adoption.
the adoption, yeah, because people have this fear that they're going to get stranded somewhere without any way to charge.
And what's the range on this one?
So this one's 400 kilometres of motorway driving, or 500 kilometres if you're off the motorway.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So you do better when you're not driving it on the motorway. There's
Because
less,
you're regenerating more.
because there's less wind resistance.
Right.
When you're driving at 100 kilometres an hour, it's a hell of a gale, and it's very energy sapping.
Yeah.
So of course, with that kind of range, that far exceeds what most people drive in a day.
Yeah.
So they really don't have anything to worry about, because you plug it in at night like a cell phone and it's full in the morning.
Well, the average commute's under 20k.
Yeah, and even if it's 30 or 40 or 50 or even 100, it's still plenty. Yeah, and even the cheapest electric vehicle has a range over 100 k's.
So if you were to do a long trip, lots of 400k,
Yeah.
how long's the charging time between sprints?
So here in New Zealand, the quickest you could do it is 4 hours for a full charge. And that's from three-phase power. If you can find an industrial three-phase outlet,
Yeah.
then it takes 4 hours. In the US and Europe, Tesla have installed supercharging stations,
Yeah.
and they charge the car from up to 80%, from 0 to 80% in 20 minutes.
So that
So
if you had them along major arteries,
that's the idea.
way laughing, right?
That's exactly what they've done in the US.
and after driving 400k's, the time to drink a cup of coffee is not a bad idea.
Not really, yeah. Not a problem at all. You'd be stopping for 20 minutes or half an hour anyway.
Have you looked at those, the charging system that the guys at Auckland University have been working on?
Oh,
What's it, a magnetic converter?
yeah, so that's wireless charging.
I guess that's a long way.
Yeah, and they have issues with efficiency. And you got to wonder what problem it's solving, really. Because I find it,
I thought it was kind of interesting that you could charge while you were doing this, while you were parked in a traffic light for
right.
about 3 seconds, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but how much would that gain you, and would it be worth all the trouble?
I think they do it with taxi stands, is when the guys are sitting there waiting
Yeah, I
for a
suppose
fare.
that's a good point.
I guess the thing is, it's not that much of an inconvenience to plug in and plug out at a
No.
taxi rank. As long as you're not edging forward all the time.
And actually, a taxi in Auckland does between 200 and 300 kilometres a day. So even then,
It's within the range.
it's actually you could do that with one of these. And obviously, this is a more expensive car. You wouldn't be doing that
The ultimate
instantly.
mover right there.
Yeah.
So what are some of the advantages of owning a 100% electric car?
Well, the advantages are that your fuel is 100% New Zealand made. So instead of sending money overseas to import oil, you're using homegrown electricity, and our electrical grid is highly sustainable and renewable. We have an average of 75% renewable power here, and depending on which supplier you choose, that can be higher as 80 or even 100% renewable.
What
So-
about running costs of the car?
There aren't any. You know, normal car you have to change the fluids and, you know, do annual maintenance. The maintenance on these cars is checking that your tyres still have tread and that your brakes aren't worn out.
Right. Is
So-
it
just so
expensive to register the car?
Registration is the same as a diesel with a very small engine.
Right.
So, which diesels do pay a high registration. It's about $400 a year.
And I've heard that there's no user charges
Correct. There are no
until
road user
2020.
charges. Well, they're putting off the decision until 2020.
Oh, okay.
And the difficulty they have is that there are plug-in hybrids which take some of their fuel from a gas pump where it's already been taxed,
Yeah.
and some of their fuel from electricity which is not taxed. And so they can't just apply a blanket road user charge and expect that to be fair, because you could just be using petrol exclusively as your fuel source, and then you'd be double penalised. You'd be paying for your paying all your road user charges twice.
Yeah.
So that's a problem they have yet to solve, and their interim solution is just to not charge
Okay.
any tax on the electricity.
Well, that's got to be good for you.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't amount to very much anyway, but you know, it's conceivable that they could have a system like a rebate where you provide your receipts or something for the petrol you bought, and you get the road user charges on that, the excise tax refunded. But
Oh, yeah.
the amount of paperwork and overhead, it just wouldn't be, you know, I don't know if it'd be worth the trouble.
I think people who have got diesel trucks and things that work a lot off-road, like in forestry,
Yes.
they have little devices they can track where they've been, so they can prove that
Yes.
they've used it off-road,
Yes.
and so
Well,
they get quite a bit back.
So there you go. Yeah. So maybe that's what it boils down to, is having the
Something
same way
easy.
the same way you have an odometer that ticks over and measures your
Or a
Ks.
GPS.
You could have a gauge that measures how much petrol
Yep.
got put into it, so that you could supply that and get a rebate for all
Right.
the excise tax that you paid. Who knows?
Yeah. Oh, we're back. That didn't take long.
10 minutes is not long. Yeah.
Great ride, Steve.
Thank you, Steve.
It's all good fun. I'm going to turn a bit more this way. What